Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and in this video I will show you how to implement offline support using Isar database in your Flutter application. Let's get started and see what application do we have created. So here I have created a basic medicine inventory management system in which we will be implementing Isar database, and we will use Firebase to upload the data to the server and also to store locally using Isar. So let in this module we will see all the CRUD operation that can be performed in the local and the inter the online database. Okay, so here let's get started. So this is the code for this application, and we will first understand what we are going to do. So assuming that this is a medicine inventory system where I have the ability to add, delete, or edit the medicine that is present in the database, and assuming that I will be going door to door to some shop, and in that case, there may not or maybe internet connection, right? So, in that case, I need to update my data in a regular basis without having to rely on the internet connection. And once I get the internet connection, I will upload the data to the server, right? So for that, for the basic things that we will need is we will be requiring a network connectivity checker to check whether there is internet or not, and it will recheck every time. The way that we will be implementing it will I will discuss about it later in the video. And then we will be using a database for local support. So for this video I will be using Isar database, and for the online support I'll be using Firebase. So in this video I will not be going into the details of how to initialize Firebase in your application. I will assume that you have already done that, and in my case I have also done that. So let's get started. So in this main dot, I have created a variable which is a value notifier. So it gets changed every time, and it notifies all the listenable builder or a value listenable builder that we'll be using throughout our application, right? Okay. So let's see what we are doing here. Here I am creating a stream subscription of connectivity result, and I will be using internet connection checker, and internet connectivity plus. Oh, sorry, it's connectivity plus module or packages in order to implement this checker. So in the init function, I'm initializing the Isar helper data class. We will talk about it later. So the first thing is we are creating a subscription, and every time there is a change in network connectivity, we are updating the value of is device connected, and then we are logging the value just for our development purpose, right? So here I have used provider in order to manage my state. And if you see here, I have created I'm using get material app, which is a part of getx, in order to navigate easily. So there is another class, something went wrong. This is just for showing some error in if there is any error in case. So let's see what we are doing here. So first we are initializing the Isar helper database or the Isar helper class. Let's see what is inside this. So I have created a class in order to keep all the function of Isar database into a single instance or a single object. So in that case, what I have done, I have created a singleton class, and I have initialized an instance of Isar. And during the creation of this object, I will be calling init function, which will open the Isar database, or it will create a instance of the Isar database with this following schema. So inventory schema. Now, what is this, right? So inventory schema is a generated class from my model class. So in order to store data, we have to create a model. And what I have done here is I have created an inventory model with multiple values of string, integer, and boolean. And it has a from and a to function from JSON and to function in order to easily export data in a JSON format and to store the data into the variables. So here, the only thing that you need to do in order to make it uh, compatible with Isar or to generate the class, you have to add part inventory.g.dart, which will be the generated file. And here you have to add collection, add the rate collection in order to, in order to annotate that this has to be, it is a collection. So if you are already familiar with code generation, you will know that we will be using a package known as build generator or a build runner, right? So build runner is used, and what we need to do is we need to call the build runner terminal command in order to build this. So basically, that command is flutter pub run build runner build. So this is the command that you will be using in order to create this generated class. Now let's go back to our Isar helper database or the Isar helper class. So here I have created multiple function. The first function is insert fresh. So basically it means that I will clear the whole inventory or I will clear the whole database, and then I will insert each element one by one into the database. So if you see here, I have used write transaction, and then inside that I am clearing the database as well as I am putting all the elements one by one. So this way of writing data into the database has been documented in the ESA documentation, and they have said that in order to do any change into your database other than reading data, you have to use write transaction function and put all your changes or all the data that you will change inside this write transaction. Okay, so this is the one function insert fresh. Now there is insert one. Basically it does the same thing, just that it inserts only one element and it doesn't clear the database. Next we have get item. This is a very simple function which does a simple thing, which is getting all the data from the database and returning it to the other function, which the place that has called this, right? So we are creating a medicine collection instance. So here I have created the instance, and then I have did a simple query of from the medicine collection where I have not done given any condition. So this means that it will take everything and it will find all. So it will get all the documents from the medicine collection and it will return to the it will return the list to the as a callback, right? So remove item. I am simply removing one item from the ID, like inventory.id, right? So in order to store data in your for every object that you create, you have to add this id, and then you have to assign isa auto increment so that it creates a unique id for your model. Okay. Okay, so now we have a update sync. So basically what I am doing is I have a isSync parameter in my inventory model, and every time there is a change that I made offline, I change it to is synced as false since it is not synced with the Firebase, right? So every time I upload the data to Firebase, I change the data or I change the isSync parameter to true, which signifies that the data has been uploaded to database. Okay, and then we have get unseen data. So this is a function that I have created in order to get all the unseen data, where I have created a query where filter is synced is equal to false. So this function is also generated whenever you create this model, right? So if you go to is synced, you'll see that you will have this generated data inside this inventory.g.dart. Okay, and it will find all the things. Now these are the functions that we are using here, and let's see how to like initialize or maybe start with this, right? So I have created an inventory list page, and inside that I have inside the init function, what I have done is I have added a widget.binding.instance. This means that every it will just wait till the first frame is loaded and then it will call this function. Okay, so let's see what we are doing here. We are going to get from the controller. A controller is an inventory controller. This is a provider. So let's go inside this function and see what we have done here. So in this get inventory list, we are checking after a delay of 1 second in order to get the actual data from the what is the value of the internet connectivity, and then we're checking if there is internet, get the data from the server or get the data from Firebase, and then load it inside the and store it inside the Isar database as a fresh data, right? So every data that I get from the server, I will just clear the database and I will store everything in order to make it a new instance. Now let's say if there is no internet, right? So in this else case, what we are doing is if there is no internet, I will just take all the data from the local database and store it in the inventory list. I will stop loading and I will just notify listener in order to update the UI. Okay, so that's done. Now, if you see here, I am wrapping this valuable my whole class with a valuable listener and listening for is device connected. Okay, now I am writing the whole UI for this. Let's see what we have done here. So if you have followed my video, if you have followed the simulator, you will see every 10 second or every 20 second there is a pop-up, a snack bar that comes up, right? See, data synced. Now what the how I am doing that? What I am basically doing is I am starting a timer, and after every 30 seconds I am checking whether there is internet, and with the function is there is a function, right, that I have created. Check is synced. Okay, so here what I'm doing, I'm getting all the unsynced data from the local database, and then I am uploading the data to the server, and then I'm changing the is synced flag in my local to true. Okay, so that means every unsynced data that was previously there, it has been uploaded to the Firebase, and then I have changed the flag is synced to true. Okay, here there is another thing which is delete medicine. So I will also come to this when I speak about how we are deleting data. Okay, and then once I'm changing it, I'm again just telling get the inventory list and don't load. So every time I get the new data, or I will after syncing I just update the data, I should not show the user the loading screen, right? So in order to do that, I have used a flag which is show loading, and then here I have just check if I am if I have true here, I will show loading, or else I will not show. So this start loading function is present in this class itself, where I am starting or stopping the loading according to my need. Okay, okay, that's great, right? So this is the timer code. Okay, so now if you see here, I have a list of medicines, right? And there are quantity. Now I have two buttons. One is plus and one is delete. So if I click on plus, I'm simply updating the quantity in order to update the data. Where I so from the CRUD operation, I will show the update here, right? So let's see how to what are the advantage of Isar database, right? So you may say why I am using Isar. So I'm using Isar because it is a NoSQL database, first of all, and it also gives me a very good inspector. So if you see here, I have a link, right? So if I copy this link and open it in my browser, I'll be able to see all my data. So if you see here, it is not supported in Safari. So I will just go to my Chrome browser and then I will open it. Okay. Okay, that's great. I guess this looks very small. So I will just increase the size a little bit. Okay. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Okay. So now if you see here, I have data, right? I have written all the data into my local database. This is a very good visualization or a inspector. So let's see what happens. So in this case, you see everything is synced. That's true, right? And I also have the internet for this, right? So just look at the quantity here, okay? So this quantity is 6. So whenever I click on this test, you see the quantity is getting updated instantly. And also, since is synced is true, it will automatically update it into the server. Okay. Now, let's say I make the internet connection go away or I simulate no internet connection, right? So in this button, if you see, there is a top plus button that I have there. And in this thing, what I have written is basically I have created an icon button and I am manually changing each device connected value to, I'm changing, toggling the value. So now, since there is internet, right? If you see here, there is internet. So if you see this value notified is true. So when I click on this button, it will say false. So now my internet is not there. Okay. So if I wait for a few minutes, you'll see that data synced pop-up will not come. So now let's see what we have. So if I click on plus, you will instantly see that is synced has become false and quantity has also updated and also my UI has updated, right? So if I click on this multiple times, it will also update here multiple times. That's great. Now I don't have internet, and let's say after my work is complete, I come to an area where there is internet. So I will toggle it. Okay. You see, I have toggled it to true. Now, let's see. Yeah. So after a 30-second, the data got synced. And if you see in my Chrome browser, again, is synced has become true. Oh my God, I have changed it low manually. Okay. So now you see is synced has become true. Now, I will also try. Okay, so now this is done. This is getting updated here and this is getting updated there. Okay, in the Firebase. So let me now show you delete. Okay, so let's say I don't have internet again. I don't have internet. Okay, and I delete one item. Okay, so now let's see the function behind this delete. So here, if I go to this, yeah. So here in this item widget, I have a void callback of on delete and on update. So on update means the function that I'm doing for call for updating the quantity, and this is for my remove medicine, right? So let's see what I'm doing here to remove. First, I am changing the value of isSync of that model to false, and then I am removing the data from the inventory, and this removal happens using that id that I have added earlier, right? So here if you see deleting using the id, inventory id. Now here I'm also removing that element from the local list that I have. So I'm just using code value in order to just check whether this item is same as the other item, because this item and the data be inside that list will not be same, because the data may be same but the address is different, right? So that if you are not using this and just checking element equals to inventory, then it will fail. Okay. So now once I'm deleting it from the local list, I'm also checking whether there is internet or not. Same, if there is internet, I'm also removing it from the Firebase, or else I'm adding this deleted medicine into a list. I'm just adding it in a local list, and then every time I get internet back again, I will delete all the item from the list, and then I will just update the data. So if you see here, I am checking whether the deleted medicine is empty or not. So if it is empty, I will not do anything, and if it is not empty, I will go through all the elements and I will delete it from the Cloud Firestore, and I will just remove delete. I will just create the delete medicine function. Oh, sorry, the delete medicine list. Okay, so this is the basic way, and also let's see how to create data, right? So I have created a new page. When I click on this floating action button, I have a page. Okay, now I will simply add data, right? So let's again go back to this. Okay, now let's say I don't have internet, or what I have internet or not. Yeah, I have internet now, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, now I have internet, right? Okay, let me just data got synced. Great, that's great. Okay, let me just switch off the internet. Okay, false. Now we'll see how we are doing it. So here I will just add dummy data, test something, product name maybe test now. Okay, so we can see it easily. Product type test, quantity something, status something, unit cost something, expiry date something, and little something. Nothing, doesn't matter. Okay, now let's add it. Okay, I have added it, and now you see it is added to the list. Now let's see here. See, my data is added to the local database with is synced as false because it is offline, right? So now it will not do anything, right? So now if I again switch on internet, if you see, if you follow this, just keep a look at this is synced. Okay, now you see it got updated and all the data also got updated. And if you see here, somewhere it will show that data test now. Yeah, see, the is synced is true and everything has been updated. So if you see here, I don't need internet, right? So let's say my internet is not present and then I'm just restarting my application, right? See, it will load and it will get the data from the local database and it will just show it to me. So I'm not dependent on internet for any of the data, and my application will run smoothly even if there is uh, fluctuation in internet connection, right? So this is a small video that I wanted to share with you guys. I've also created a Medium article of this same thing, so you can go through that article and also get the code there. And I will also attach this code link with this in the description of this video. So yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments. And if you subscribe to my channel, that would be very good. Like, you'll be able to get new videos from me whenever I upload, and it will also help me motivate myself to create more videos. So this is my video after a long time. So let's see what let's try to be punctual or to be systematic and upload a new video every week in order to uh, make this YouTube thing more interesting for me, because I don't like to create videos much, but I generally write Medium articles frequently. Thank you guys. I will meet you guys in the next video.